What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zeph War Games, and today I thought I would bring you a player's guide to Crystal Beasts. Now hopefully you saw my budget profile the other day where I pretty much gave you a structure to work off of and build off. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through the different types of cards within the deck, mainly what is your starter, what is your boss monster, your extender, your end board, you name it, I'll take you through it. This will apply to both the combo build of Crystal Beast and the control build of Crystal Beast as well. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more upcoming content. With all of that out of the way, let's take you through the first section. So I'm going to take you through the star cards. Now what I mean by the star cards, these are the cards that will get everything going. This is less so a starter because that is what I consider as your Sapphire Pegasus, but more so just your general engine builders and pretty much what does everything you need in the deck. So we're going to start off with Rainbow Bridge, and the reason we're starting off with Rainbow Bridge is this is a card that lets you add any crystal spell or trap from your deck to the hand. So this will then allow you to get into something like Crystal Bond and of course Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, which is other parts of your core cards, alongside your control cards of Crystal Concave, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, and the brand new Counter Trap as well, in order to kind of control the board, which we'll talk about further on down the line in the form of Crystal Miracle. Now, what makes Rainbow Bridge so powerful is the fact that it is not a hard once per turn. So technically, if you open up multiple copies, you just open up multiple routes into the card you might need. Now, the reason that this is such a good card for the deck can lead you into Crystal Bond. And talking about Crystal Bond, the benefit of this card is like it's so amazing. It just needed additional cards that allowed you to abuse everything with it. Enter Bridge of the Crystal Heart, which we'll talk about in a second. But Rainbow Bridge will lead you to Bonds, and Bonds then technically lead you into your Sapphire Pegasus, which is your starter. I'll talk about starters a little bit later on as well. On top of that, Bonds will also allow you to set up your spell and trap zone with one of your Crystal Beast monsters, which helps you kind of accelerate your route of play to your boss monsters in the form of Rainbow Dragon, and of course in the form of your ultimate Crystal Beasts, in the form of Dragon Overdrive and Over Dragon. Carrying on with, of course, the brand new Heart of the Cards or core cards, we also have Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. Now, the reason that this is such a good card and arguably kind of deserved to be a foil in this set was the pure fact that it had the ability to special summon a Crystal Beast from the deck, or in turn search out a Rainbow Refraction or Rainbow Bridge. So you can see how these cards all kind of circle each other. The only downside of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates is that you needed to reveal an ultimate crystal monster, which isn't so hard because you were able to search out Rainbow Dragon, but it did need a little bit of setup. What made it amazing was the fact that it's a quick effect as well, and if you control an ultimate crystal monster, which you now can do with your Rainbow Dragon or your Rainbow Overdrive, it kind of gave you the ability to activate both effects. So a search or ascend plus a special summon, which if you are special summoning out another one of your core cards in Ruby Carbuncle, you're able to summon out your spell and traps, which can of course trigger the Pegasus. We then move on to the final of the core cards, and that is of course the brand new Bridge of the Heart. So what makes this so good is during the main phase you get an additional normal summon of a Crystal Beast monster, and if that wasn't enough, you also get an additional effect that during the main phase you get to destroy a Crystal Beast card you control or in your hand, and if you do, you get to add a crystal spell or trap. So again, this can then lead you to Bonds, it can lead you to Ultimates, but what you're probably going to use it to get to more times than not is Beacon, which leads you to Ruby Carbuncle, which you will see in the combos that I have portrayed. If that still wasn't enough for a card like this, in addition to all of that, if a Crystal Beast card or cards is placed in your spell and trap zone even during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls, return both this card and that card to the hand. So it gave you a form of interaction, it gave you a form of bounce protection. So not only did it let you kind of turbo through your plays, give you additional normals, which is what the old school cards like Crystal Beast needed, it also gave you a form of interruption. So before we move on to the control cards and the boss monsters, let's look at the starters. So the main core Crystal Beast, in my opinion, your best one is, of course, your Sapphire Pegasus. So I'm just going to zoom in on these ones because these are a bit more important as well. Is your Sapphire Pegasus, because this pretty much instigates all of your Crystal Beast plays. Unlike the rest of the Crystal Beast, what this did is when it was summoned, you get to place a Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up into your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. Then if this face-up card is destroyed in the monster zone, so by battle or card effect, you place it into the spell and trap zone. Now the reason this worked out so good is once you're able to then get Ruby Carbuncle, this one on special summon specifically, you get to special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your spell and trap zones. If it is destroyed in the monster zone, you get to place it into the spell and trap zone. But what makes this so good and what makes it even more important, as you'll see in the combo, is the ability that Pegasus pretty much sets up your spell and trap zones, leading from Heart. Heart will then allow you to lead into an ability to special summon Carbuncle, and by doing so you're then able to summon out the Pegasus and start equipping more of the Crystal Beast from the deck, meaning that a card or a boss monster in the form of Rainbow Dragon is a lot easier to make because you have so many more consistent ways of getting those Crystal Beasts onto the board and into the graveyard. Rainbow Dragon itself is an incredible 4K boss monster. The issue is, quite like all or most of the insane anime boss monsters, it was very difficult to summon out. So it can't be normal summoned or set, and it had to be special summoned from the hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names from your field and or graveyard. So that was a little bit difficult to kind of do before the new structure deck support, and this is what I'm saying, is you had ways to kind of turbo out Ruby, you have ways of turboing out your Pegasus as well. Another modernized card for the Crystal Beast is your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. So what makes this card so good is not only is it a 3k extended boss monster, but it's also a way to extend your board state. And what I mean by that is if this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you get to place it into your face-up spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, instead of sending it to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, even you being attacked or you attacking, you get to special summon this card from the hand. You can also banish this card that is treated as a continuous spell to special summon a level 4 or lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but negate its effects. And if you do, mandatory, add an ultimate crystal monster from your deck to the hand. So this is a way of getting another Crystal Beast onto the board / graveyard, and also being able to search out your Rainbow Dragon. So it increases your consistency, it increases your plays, and it gives you a very nice 3k boss monster. Speaking of boss monsters, let's look at the old fusion for Rainbow Dragon, which is more so utilized to get you into your brand new Fusion Dragon for Crystal Beast. So the old Fusion monster has a very weird requirement, because in order to gain its second effect as a quick effect to tribute this Fusion Summon card and shuffle all cards on the field into the deck, you needed to Fusion Summon it. Now the only way it could be Fusion Summoned was with 7 Crystal Beast monsters, or you could also special summon it by tributing a level 10 ultimate crystal monster. Well, I'm so glad it's now a heck of a lot easier to get this guy out, so I can just go tribute, give me a nice 4k beta, and what that then led you to is that then led you to the ability of getting this bad boy out, which this bad boy probably should have been this bad boy, and then we could have had an upgrade on this guy. So the upgrade we received is this card is now a heck of a lot easier to special summon. It does require you to use an ultimate Crystal Beast monster and a Crystal Beast, 7 Crystal Beast monsters, but you get to special summon it from the extra deck. During a duel, you special summoned an ultimate crystal monster, and then on top of that, you banish the materials to do so. So it allowed you to use your graveyard, and I believe it also allows you to use the field as well. Yeah, from your field and or graveyard. And then while you have 7 or more of your Crystal Beast monsters with different names are banished, it gains 7,000 attacks. So as long as you've got different names, which you very easily do, this guy is going to be an absolute tank. If this card has not battled this turn, you gain the quick effect, you tribute it, and shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck. And then special summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters. So it's basically, as I said, a major upgrade on this guy, because it just needs to not battle to use its effect. It doesn't need to be specifically fusion summoned, because the requirements for these two, let's be quite honest, is very, very crazy. On top of that, not only does it just tribute to shuffle the board, but it allows you to gain back some of your resources, namely 5 Crystal Beast monsters from your Banish Zone. And then finally, we'll look at the control cards. These are going to be more utilized in the control version of the deck. And the big difference between that is ideally what you do is you rely less on your combo plays, so less on like Cherubini plays, and more so on the ability to get to Baguska and then control your board with a Miracle and a Conclave. So what Conclave does, which is incredibly powerful, is once per turn per copy, if a face-up Crystal Beast monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You can send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard, then target 1 Crystal Beast card you control and 1 card on the field. Return them to the hand. You cannot activate these effects in the same chain. Now what this does is this replaces the combo elements of something like Cherubini, because it gives you that ability to, if you use something like Torrential Tribute or use ways of destroying your own cards, you can then trigger the effect to special a Crystal Beast from the deck. So you're constantly being able to go, okay, well I've got 2 of these or multiple of these in play, which means I can resolve multiples in different chains and different stages, meaning that I don't need to rely on having to loop around Pegasus a load of times, or I don't need to loop around Cherubini a couple of times. And then of course it also gave you a form of interruption as well. The Miracle was just an incredibly good counter trap that allowed you to pretty much destroy a Crystal Beast card, so synergy with Conclave, and then destroy a spell, trap, or monster effect when it is activated. On top of that, if a Crystal Beast card is placed into your spell and trap zone while this card is in the graveyard, even during a damage step, you get to banish this card to place a Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up into your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. So again, it was just quicker utilities to gain the additional Crystal Beast that you required to get into this guy, which is why the control version is also a very good option for the deck. So I hope you have found this video useful. It's just a short, sweet, simple player's guide to the cards you need to be looking at, cards you definitely need to be including in your decks. And for those of you that were questioning why multiple Rainbow Dragons are used, not only can you resolve its effect twice, which means you could possibly resolve a second Over Dragon, but if you do sadly open up 1 copy, the second effect of this does die and it does hurt the combo, which is why a control version can also have its very good benefits, because you're able to pretty much just control everything you need to, and rather than having to go all out on your combo pieces and getting stopped by stuff like Nibiru's and Ash Blossoms and hand traps, you can just control your opponent's board and then build for an OTK the following turn. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I am trying to work with Tom, who is our local Crystal Beast master, and also has the deck in near enough max rarity, which is beautiful, to do a full powered build. But I'm also going to look in doing a test stand build for you guys as well. And if these videos get enough likes and enough appreciation, I'll also bring you a control version as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, guys, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.